Hey everyone! Today, we're not just going to run through a list of inspirational quotes. Instead, we're going to go on a journey together, a journey to really understand ourselves on a deeper level so we can live a more connected and, honestly, a more fulfilling life. So, let's dive in. Just let that sink in for a second. We spend so much of our lives planning everything on the outside: trips, careers, our futures. But what if the most incredible, life-changing exploration is actually waiting right inside of us? That right there is the heart of what we're talking about today. All right, so let's kick things off with part one, the journey inward. You gotta think of this as building the foundation, because really, how we show up in the world is just a mirror of what's going on inside. It all has to start by looking within. And the absolute bedrock of that foundation? It's authenticity. Now, what's so cool about this idea is that it's not something you have to go out and create. It's something you already possess. It's your personal signature, the core of who you are. So the goal isn't to become someone different, it's about becoming more fully, unapologetically yourself. And when you're grounded in that authenticity, that's where true humility comes from. This isn't about beating yourself up or thinking less of yourself, no way. It's about a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your own inner worth, from hosting what you have internally, so you don't feel that need to constantly boast about your external achievements. So this self-awareness, it starts to grow, right? It expands into consciousness. This is that aha moment when we realize it's not just about us. We're all connected. The big takeaway here is that our internal world directly impacts the external world. True awareness is realizing, hey, I have a part to play in all of this. And that brings us to the last piece of this inner puzzle, vulnerability. So many of us are taught to see this as a weakness, but I want you to look at it as a superpower. It's having the guts to own our story, the good and the bad, to make claim to where the world has left us lame, because it's in admitting where we're hurt that we find our greatest strength. Okay, so we've done the internal work, we've laid that strong foundation. Now what? Well, now we're ready for part two, engaging with the world. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about taking that inner understanding and actually using it to connect with other people in a better, more compassionate way. And let's be real, one of the hardest parts of engaging with the world is forgiveness. It's such a tricky balance, isn't it? As you can see here, it should not be rushed. You can't force it. Healing needs its own time. But at the same time, it should not be hushed. You can't just sweep it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen. It takes both patience and courage. And it makes sense, right? Once we've faced our own struggles, our own vulnerabilities, it's just easier to see the humanity in other people. That's compassion. I love how this calls it a mightiness, because that's exactly what it is. It's not just some soft, fuzzy feeling. It's a powerful force that drives us to give and connect in ways that don't always make logical sense. Of course, really engaging with the world, that takes courage. But what even is courage? It's definitely not about being fearless. As it says right here, real courage is looking straight at the thing that scares you, taking the time to understand it, to study it, and then moving forward to conquer it. It's smart, it's deliberate. And all of this, the forgiveness, the compassion, the courage, it really all comes together in kindness. This line is so powerful. It's basically saying that doing nothing, being indifferent, that's a kind of blindness. But one simple act of kindness, that cuts right through it. It's a conscious choice to really see someone and to do something. Okay, this is where it all starts to come together. All of this work brings us to the final stage of our journey, part 3, finding your purpose. This is the climb. This is where our inner awareness and our outer actions finally click into place and give us a true sense of meaning. So, how do we actually find this purpose? Well, here's a pretty fantastic roadmap. It starts with a decision. You cut through the noise and turn all that confusion into a clear direction. From there, you set an intention, but it's a calm one, not born from stress. That intention then becomes your purpose. You start making your vision a reality. And finally, that purpose evolves into your mission. That's when it becomes your destiny in action. For a lot of people, that sense of purpose gets supercharged by a connection to something bigger than themselves. And this analogy, it's just perfect. The power, the electricity is always there. But it does us no good unless we make the choice to plug in and actually connect to it. It's an active decision we have to make. So, after this whole journey, from self-awareness to action to purpose, we've finally arrived at the end. And it brings up a huge question. After all of this, what is true success? How do we even define the finish line? No, really, think about it for a minute. If you've done all this work, if you've journeyed inward and tried to act with purpose, what's the ultimate report card? Is it about money? Is it fame? All the things you've accomplished? Or is it something else entirely? And here's the answer. It's so simple, but it hits so hard. The ultimate measure of a successful life isn't about what we got, it's about what we gave. True success is getting to the end and knowing, really knowing, that we loved well. That's it. That's the destination. So, when you boil it all down, you get this one core truth. This journey inward isn't some selfish quest. It's actually the training ground for a life of service. It teaches us that real power isn't about being in control. It's found in that deep desire to serve others. And the highest, purest form of that service, it's love. And that brings us right back to you. I want to leave you with this one final question. Because all of this knowledge, this whole journey, it all comes down to this single, simple action. Knowing what you know now. How will you love well?